And thank you, Marco. Most of us are working on our own in our quiet little corners of the world, and we don't get together to share our concerns or needs. And that's a shame. So this is our effort to try and bring all of you together. And I hope we have a productive meeting. I think we will. It's very exciting. We have some items that we have decided to present. But of course, during the meeting at any time, if you have some concern or some idea that you would like to share, make sure that you use at the bottom, there is a reactions button. You can raise your hand, and Marco and I will try to keep track of who is raising their hand, and we can listen to your comments. If in fact we miss you, just unmute yourself and just speak up, because we want to hear everybody's voices. I would like to introduce the president of the IPS right now, Michael McConville, and he's going to give us a welcome.
Thank you, Susan. And it's important for me to note, I am following in the footsteps of Susan herself, a former IPS president. It's a pleasure to be with you all this morning, or at least for us here on the East Coast in the morning. IPS is extremely proud of the work that portable planetariums do around the world. I think, as many of you know, there are more portable planetariums than there are fixed domes in the world, and you are essential to providing access to science and to astronomy to so many parts of the global population that fixed domes can't fulfill in its entirety. And the essential aspect of all of this is that as an international organization, and in my administration the next few years, as we're planning to meet in Berlin and Jena next year for the IPS conference, is to place even more of a spotlight and more resources into the hands of portable planetarians. It is incredibly important for us that we continue to support and continue to remain relevant to all of you. And so as you're going through the meeting today, as you're discussing the obstacles and the opportunities that face portable planetariums, think about ways in which we as IPS can better resource all of you. How can we be more relevant for what you do day to day? How do we make it easier for you to connect with audiences and provide the resources to them that portable domes have been using for decades? We are very, very close. October of this year is the 100th anniversary of the first planetarium projector. 2025 will be the 100th anniversary of the first official planetarium, the Deutsches Museum in Munich, Germany. And this is an incredibly important time for planetariums around the world. We are looking back at 100 very, very effective years, but I believe that our next century of planetariums is built even more on the foundation of what portable planetariums bring to the community and to the world at large. So enjoy yourselves today. You're in great hands with Susan and Marco, 100%, but also that it is important for all of you to be reminded that you are essential parts of the planetarium community. And the more that we can bring fixed and mobile planetary together, the way that we can reassess the way that we create content and curriculum and experiences for our audiences, just remember how essential all of you are to that process, and how much we want to make sure that the next 100 years are very, very fruitful for every single person in this room. One of the things that Susan put in the agenda, and I'll make sure to have, is that if you have not yet become an IPS member, if you've never been an IPS member before, and you were to become a member today, we have extended the 1-year membership, which right now would last you through May of 2024, extends through the entirety of the centennial. So if you were to sign up now as a new IPS member, your membership goes all the way through May of 2025 for the 1-year membership price. We think it's important that people have access to IPS. We know that of all of the planetariums, portable planetariums tend to have the most resource limitations. That should not be an obstacle to being part of this community and gaining the networking and the resources that we have available for each and every one of you. So from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of all of the officers and the board, thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for the people that you serve. Thank you for caring enough to want to make this world a slightly better place through sharing the universe with the people that that live and work with you alongside you in your community. So, Susan, once again, thank you for having me today. I'm at the GLPA Michigan State meeting, so I'm about to jump in the dome and see some more presentation. But wanted to make sure to be here this morning and see all of you.
Thank you, Michael. Can you put the IPS address in the chat?
Most certainly can.
The website address so that people can jump right there. Great. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Nice to have that support, and we'll see if we can think of some ways to use that support. Okay, so first of all, Marco, I don't know if you can do this, but could you bring up the IPS Portable Planetarium web page, the resources page?
Let me get that for you.
Thank you. Because I want you to know, a lot of people don't know even that this page exists, and I would like you to spread the word that this exists, and also have you send me comments about things that might be there that are not there yet. I've tried to collect many resources for people on that page. One of the things that I've been writing a column since 1990, 4 times a year. And if you do not get the IPS journal because you're not a member, you can access the archives of the Planetarian and look at all the back issues. The only one that you're restricted from seeing is the latest edition, and then it goes into the archives and then you can see it. So those are a big resource. There's a column that I write called Mobile News Network. It has some items that might interest you. Okay, so this is the page where we've posted resources for you on the IPS website. And if you'll scroll down a little bit, you can see that there are articles about how to keep the momentum going. Now that we're reopening, most of us are open already. A business model, how to build your own portable planetarium, low cost, instructions on how to do that. Okay, keep going. And down at the bottom, there's a list, there's a handbook that is very old, but has many, many things in there that might be interesting to you and never are become outdated. So parts of it are outdated, but a lot of it is still relevant. The manufacturers of portable planetariums are in that handbook, but they're totally outdated. So I'm trying to keep that up to date. And then the Mobile Domes in Business is talking about best practices, and what projectors you should purchase is a little outdated, but maybe some pointers in there. And then there's an IPS affiliates portable planetarium contacts for each of the IPS affiliates or regions in the world. I've tried to get someone who would pass on information to the portables in that region. So if you don't have, if you want to contact somebody in your country, you can go there and see if you can find someone to talk with in your language. Thank you. Okay, so part of this meeting is to talk about content and how to increase the availability of low-cost content for us. And do we want big full dome movies? And if we don't, what can we instruct the creators to create for us that would make more sense? Short 20-minute films or films that could be interactive, you'd play a little bit, interact a little, and so on. I see a hand up already. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's me. Thank you. I have a question. What if I want, for example, add some information to this web page that you have shown some minutes ago? For example, I have a book I wrote, a book about planetariums, but it's in Spanish and Portuguese. What if I want to offer this resource for the community? It is possible.
Yeah. Oh, yes. All right. So send me. Okay, let's see. How can we do this? What I usually do is I gather the information or document or whatever, and then I give a short description, a very 1 or 2 sentence description, and I send it to the webmaster, and they create a link to the document or book or whatever with that heading. So if you can send me a little brief introduction and, you know, a little 1 or 2 sentences and state that it's in Spanish, that's fine. That's wonderful. And then I can send it to her and she can upload it to that page. Okay. Yeah. Great. Okay, where was I? What's your feelings about dome content? Any comments? Do you use full dome movies, 40 minutes, 50, 60-minute full dome movies, or do you have any concerns with those movies? Are they too loud, too fast? Anything?
Well, I can say something about that if you want to, just for the full dome movies. I
Yeah.
have the feeling that they should be short than the ones that we use in the fixed facilities. We cannot keep people so much time inside a mobile dome that they're not necessarily comfortably seated. So we have to be like faster paced. So shorter movies could be a better idea for mobiles.
Lionel.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I would like to say that we use a lot of shows during our presentation on our mobile dome and fixed dome, but we prefer having very, very short movies, because that way it can be placed at different moments during the presentation, and then it changes the way the listener is getting things from us, and that's good to have a different kind of moments of different pace, I would say. I will put on the chat a comprehensive listing of all the shows and with their durations, all of the free shows, and maybe it can be of some interest for people aside the big listing of links that has been given by Mario Di Maggio, available on your web page.
Yes, I will put that list on the, I've already asked it to be placed on the webpage, but it hasn't been there. It's not on there yet. The webmaster's on vacation for a few days. Thank you. Michael?
So it's me, yeah? Okay. Hello, everybody. I operate a small planetarium, which is a fixed one, and a mobile dome. And well, once I have a school class in my dome, it's limited usually to 45 minutes. So a shorter session, a full dome session, 20 minutes, gives me enough time to interact later on with the audience. I like to give the kids or the audience a tour around the night sky afterwards. And I do not only wish to have them a ready multimedia show. So for this purpose, shorter shows are nice. Then again, there must be for the audience the right shows. So we need a lot of shows for different ages, and kindergarten, preschoolers, elementary school, and then older children and adults, of course. So it's very difficult to have the right show and the right material and the license fees for all those. So it's complex matter, and short shows might be good, and especially they must be available in various languages. As a matter of fact, in German, we have several shows, but either they're very expensive or they're not for the audience the right show. So it's difficult for us, and the increase of content material is one goal why I have joined this meeting here today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going across my board. I'm not sure who came in first or second or whatever. So Ben.
Thank you, Susan. Hello, everyone, and thank you for organising this, Susan. And, yeah, I agree with everyone. I think the joy of a mobile dome, perhaps we have smaller audiences than the large domes, and I know many of us do live presenter-led shows, so we have the opportunity to pitch the content to a very specific audience. It's not a large mixed public audience of adults and children. Very often it's 8-year-olds or 12-year-olds or whatever it is. So long films are slightly less relevant, and for us the most useful resource are very short clips that we can incorporate into a presenter-led show. So most of our shows tend to be modular in that sense, and we'll be using clips that are 1 minute, 4 minutes, perhaps even 5 minutes at the most. And for us, that we find very useful. And of course, they're cheaper as well. Mobile domes, perhaps being smaller organisations, lower budgets, so we can't afford the licensing of the larger films as much as the big domes can. But yeah, those are my thoughts, agreeing with what others have said already.
Okay, thank you. Omar. Dr. Omar. Welcome. I cannot hear you.
You're muted.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
I was muted. Okay. Now. Okay. Are you hearing me now? Okay. Concerning your ask about the duration and the full movie or short movie, from our experience in the Arab world and our area in the planetarium, I think that's the real-time activity and interactive activity is preferred or recommended, especially in the portable planetarium. Because if you're playing a full show, short or long show, I think it's not work, because it's difficult to hand or manage the kids or the adults inside the closed portable one. So my input in this at this point is the real-time and interactive activity is strongly recommended than a full show, whatever it's short or long show. Is my input.
Okay, sounds like that's the general sense of most of you. Thank you. Claude, you have anything to add to that?
Well, yes. Actually, I would like to know during this session, how long are your presentations last? Do they last 40 minutes, 45, 50, an hour? And also, I agree with what Lionel said earlier about the length of the shows. Ideally, if the shows were between 10 and 20 minutes at the most, that would be nice, because when it's too long, well, the people, some of them get tired, and especially the kids, they want things that move a lot. They need change. They need pictures that move a lot. So for the time of the shows, well, that's about it. Thank you very much.
Okay, Thank you. Length of show takes many shapes and forms for all of us, I'm sure. I remember doing 1-hour shows with kindergartners because it took them longer to settle in. And some people say only 15 minutes for kindergartners because you can't keep their attention. Well, I could keep their attention if I had more time, not less. So most of my shows were 45 minutes, but many times I went to 50 or an hour, depending on the school or the location availability. So that's kind of up to you, how long you can manage a group and how much you have to share and what the situation is. So I appreciate that question. If anybody has any comment on that, that would be great. Okay. Some of your names, I'm sorry, are difficult for me to pronounce, so I will just jump in there. I see somebody called Reading India.
Hi everyone,
Hello.
my name is Dayanidhi. I call Daya. Okay. We have a mobile planetarium in here. We are in South India. The plan movie duration will be here. We do for 20 to 30 minutes. It's enough for our culture and our climate also. So here we have some two shows. We minimum do in schools. Minimum duration will be 20 minutes. Maximum duration will be 40 minutes. Then we need for movies like our own mother tongue, like Tamil. It's one of Indian national language. We don't have any planetarium movies in Tamil languages. If you have any free content, you can give, we can translate it. The Tamil language is one of the best Asian language, and more than 6 countries have their national language in Tamil, like Singapore, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, then Mauritius, and also India. These 5 countries have their one of national language in Tamil, but we don't have any Tamil planetarium movies here. We ready to translate in some movies in Tamil and also content also. We are waiting for celebration the planetarium centennial year. Yeah, if you have any conduction and any programs, we will ready to participate here. We are in South India, the state called like Tamil Nadu.
Can you put a brief comment in the chat and your contact information about what you just said?
Yeah, okay.
Thank
Can you understand our English?
It's a little bit fast for me, so that's why I would like to have a little descriptor in the chat. Thank you so much, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Matthias?
You're muted as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, hello, everybody. I'm Matt from Germany, and I totally agree that show length is an issue. And I very much like those shows. We've got 2 versions, like 28 and 38 minutes. But mostly we use the 28-minute version. Furthermore, we once had a problem and we found out something interesting. We had this full video about ISS, Tim Peake. It's been from the UK, I think, and we had the English version only, but we couldn't show it in the primary school, so we took away the voice and just moderated live the text. And this hybrid playback is something that our customers really very much like. And my third point I would like to point out is I don't understand the show pricing for commercial licenses. mostly they are by far out of reach for a small planetarium that is working mobile. I don't know what these people think who make the pricing for portable planetariums. It's just astronomical expensive from my point of view. Thank you.
Yes, and that is why I'm trying to get together a list of free or low-cost elements or films or images and so on. And I'll show you that list in a minute. There are a lot of things out there, and there's a lot of things on the IPS website that you can use to build a program, even just voices describing different astronomical events from different countries, different kinds of voices, different languages. So you might be interested in looking at that. Okay, let's do a couple more people. Phil Sadler, welcome.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm thinking of pre-recorded shows, and when I in the 1970s.
You're breaking up, Phil.
Oh, I don't know why.
Just
I have
don't
a good
move.
connection.
Okay, don't move around.
Okay. I was impressed with research on interactivity and a lot more when they were in some interactive setting. And of course, Alan Gould and Alan Friedman's work on shows is known to their.
It's really breaking up. That's so sad.
Is this any better?
Try it.
Is it better?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So Alan Gould and
Alan Gould and Alan Friedman's work is particularly valuable. They have lots of interactive shows, and I've used, even with Harvard students, I've used their work extensively. So if you don't have copies of their curricula, that's a tremendous resource. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. That's right. The PASS series. I will try and put that in some notes of the meeting. Okay, Alan Gould and Friedman. Balázs. Okay.
Yeah, that's nice. Hi, everybody. I'm from Hungary, Budapest, and I have a partly different view. We are going to schools and nursery schools since 11 years, and we have an experience that the ideal time is about 24 minutes to 28 minutes. And I have an experience, if a movie is less than 20 minutes, there is no big success in the session. You should add something, or a live show or a discussion or something. If the movie is more than 32 minutes, then it's annoying for the people. They don't sit in one place so much. And two more things. The one thing is very important. A lot of people said that it's very important to dedicate to the ages, the movies, the shows. Not all the movies for everybody. We have different movies for nursery school, for higher nursery school and elementary school and the adults. And it's so different. They cannot understand it. And one more personal experience. It's very important that most of the children needs more content in the shows, less speech, but more content. It's very interesting. The teacher said that less content because it's enough for the children, but it's not the real life. The children wanted to know more about the life. And they said that if they see the images, they can understand a lot. They should not need all the explanations and long texts. So short texts and more content, what I would like to add to all these notes. And of course, it's very important for us in Eastern Europe that we should do the local versions, the local language versions. So it's difficult and very expensive if the show is a low cost, but we should do the Hungarian version or the local version. So unfortunately, this is the situation where we should add some additional money, and it's a long time. Now we are operating with 40 shows, and I'm not satisfied because I need more and more children's shows because they are the more open ages. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to share a document. Let's see if I can do this. This is the list. Can you see it, Marco?
Yes, it's okay.
This is the list that I've compiled so far. Mario DiMaggio has a list that he has available of free educational content, free artistic content, etc. So this is a document that will be posted on that web page, resources page for portables. Derek Demeter has full dome videos he's ready to share and photos free to all planetarians. Lionel is offering help in dubbing free shows. He will talk to you a little bit more in a moment. He also has a software, a list of free software and commercial software that he'll discuss in a moment. And the artwork of Pablo Carlos Budase. Sorry, too fast. NSF, National Optical Infrared Astronomy Research Laboratory, has some materials. NASA's Scientific Visualization Studio, One Sky Project, Living in Balance, and then IPS has free full dome assets. Oh no, that's from Creative Planet. You can purchase things, of course, from Full Dome on demand. It's still very expensive. IPS free media is available to you, even if you're not a member. There are more that are available if you are a member. Voices from the Dome is what I'm talking about. There are some recorded voices that you could explore and maybe use some of those voices in your programming. Pages of Stars, there's some audio clips. You can also use educational resources on the educational resource page to help develop live shows, and the live interactive shows page, LIPS, is a good resource for developing interactive shows. So these will be put on the web page and it's totally updatable. So if I get more information from you folks, just email me and I will add it to the list. But I'm hoping that that will get us started. Some things that you can use. I'm going to turn it over to Lionel now to talk to us a little bit about some of these things.
About free shows, you mean?
Yeah, do a brief talk about your offer about the free shows, and then you can show us your ideas for using the artwork that we discussed.
Okay. So concerning free shows, I've posted on the chat the link with all the mostly 100 free shows available, and most of them we have translated and dubbed them in French. So I have the files available for music only and effects only of many shows. So if you have trouble to get in touch with people that did the shows, I can be of some help to do the translation, dubbing, and I can also give some help in synchronizing the files to do your own language dubbing. So for that, I've helped yesterday a friend from Portugal to do this stuff on satellites. And so I'm able to give some help, if possible, for this kind of shows to be translated in your language. So don't hesitate to get in touch with me with that, for that. Concerning, we had a great artwork made by Pablo. I don't remember the name, sorry, but I have it somewhere, but
Pablo Budase.
Yeah, good essay. And I think that his artwork is great about talking of distance and dimensions in a logarithmic way. And I've made this image in a video by de-zooming from the sun to everything, to all the universe in its entirety. So I will share my screen if it's possible to present what it does with our free software named the Spacecrafter. I will try, to share everything so it'll be easier. No audio needed. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Great. So is artwork? It's not ran. Oh, it crashed.
Oh.
I think I have a problem. I stopped my sharing. And as I'm here waiting for launching it again, no, I really have trouble. So please go ahead and I'll be back soon. Sorry, Susan.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for trying. I'm very pleased that you are able to help people in finding translations too. You could also appeal to the IPS, International Projects Committee, to help with translations. Okay, is Guillermo here?
I don't see him.
It works now if I can
okay.
go back to share my screen, sorry for the waiting. So here is the image. Maybe you may know, but it's only the center of the image. So here you can, do you get the image, or it's very close? It goes around, okay. So by playing the video, we get a de-zoom, and then we can talk about the sun, about comets close to the sun, talk about the planets. And with our software, we can play video in reverse direction, which is not possible, but it can be managed with a ping pong video. I mean, a video that goes to the end and then from the end go to the beginning. And that way we can jump to a position that makes it like it was going backward. And so we can talk about planets, the planets we want. But if we miss something, we can go backward and then go forward if needed. So this image is great because we can talk about asteroids and the Kuiper belt asteroids, and then planets and planets around other stars, and then galaxies and filaments of a galaxy in the universe. So that way we can navigate through the video and with a good resolution, because I've made it available for everybody. I will give the link of the videos in the chat now. Thanks for listening.
Terrific. All right. So I just wanted to remind folks that we're trying to keep a list of all of you who are in attendance, and some of you have joined us who did not send me an email to register. We let you in because we recognize you, but I would like it if you'd send me an email with your name and email and your location, so that we can keep you on our list. I'm putting my address again in the chat. For those of you that have asked me in the past how long this meeting is going to run, we have so much to talk about, but we only have 2 hours, so we will finish at the end of 2 hours. And near the end of the meeting, we'll try and schedule another meeting so that we can continue our discussions. We have a hand raised again.
Yes, thank you. Question for Lionel. I have downloaded the last year. I have downloaded the software, the Spacecrafter, but I am a Windows user. So I download also a virtual machine to use Linux on and try to install this program, this software into my computer, and I couldn't. So it is possible an assistance for use this software or to use this software in my computer. Maybe later I text you or something and you help me with that. Is it possible?
There's a Windows version of the software already prepared, so you should be able to use it now on Windows directly. I will put the link on the chat to download it. The only trouble is that you need a good graphic card for gamers, because a lot of 3D elements need those graphic cards to run smoothly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, there's a message in the chat from Alex about open space software. Not sure we'll have time to show your, we'll see if we have some time. We'll have you show us about that software, but it is listed on Lionel's site, all of the different kinds of open software. So you are listed there, and link will be available. Okay, that's going to be on my list that'll be posted on my webpage. Guillermo was supposed to talk to us about the centennial of planetariums, and evidently he's not here, right, Marco?
No, he's not around. I'll try to find him other way, but in the meantime, we should continue then with next topics.
Okay. So Marco, you're going to be busy doing that, or you can do your discussion on best practice.
That could be it, but I see that the presentations, anyways, that we were going to talk about.
Want to do those?
Yeah, we could do that
Okay.
with Balas and Rodrigo and me and Bryant about the projects.
Okay, we had some with the centennial of planetariums. marking of the 100 years of the invention of the planetarium, there was a contest where local projects were entered, and we have four of the winners here. Congratulations. So we're going to ask that we have you speak about that or show us a video. So go ahead, Marco, and start with Belize.
Okay, so
You have
the
a-
last forecast.
Alaz, you have a PowerPoint.
If I am the next one,
Yes.
I'd like to share with you some experience. We are a portable planetarium in Hungary. And just to introduce you, can you see the presentation? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
now it is. I'm jumping to the next screen if I can, of course. Yeah, so we are a portable planetarium in Hungary. We started 11 years ago, and now we developed our system to go to schools, nursery schools, and some events. And we have presently 4 domes, one 5 meters, 6 meter, and 2 7-meter domes, and 3 laser-based projectors. So we are quite well prepared. And of course, we have some cars for that, and we are using temporary persons to go to these events. And what I would like to show you is the open event experience. You see 2 images. So what is the problem with these images? Well, it's easy, a lot of people. The open events are especially hard to realize because so many people jump in one moment, and you should fulfill all the requirements for all the ages. And it's not easy several times. We make some events in plazas, in museums, and even in a zoo park, where we had 2 7-meter dome in one time. What we get now is that the big fairs, exhibitions like Kid Expo or Museums Nights, including 3,000 to 5,000 people in one time. And if you calculate that only 10% of them are interested in the planetarium, it's so many for us. So we see only 2 possibilities, and we are open for any other experience that should make rows for the people. And of course, the arriving time is very important, where they can come in, especially in these events where not only children are presented. We are using seats. You see a small image in the lower part of the presentation, where we have mobile seats, and we have, of course, a one-head projector in the middle. And we are focusing on less people in one show, but more convenient for the people. That's one experience. The other thing is that, of course, the shorter programs, the 20-25-minute programs, is the best suit for the open events, where in one day we can give 10 to 12 programs in a dome. And it's describing if you're using bigger and bigger domes, you can fulfill more people. We have some hits and records where I can say extremely large audience we supported. For instance, in one night where there was a museum's night, we used 2 7-meter domes and parallel 8+8 programs for 640 people in one night. That was from 7 to midnight in the evening. When we were in a children camp, we brought 2 7-meter domes with 28 programs. That's 14+14 programs in one dome for 1,400 children. So it's too large, but we could fulfill with a great organization. What I mean with the organization, that in ahead, I recommend to everybody to prepare a list of the programs And the program list, if you can see in the middle, you should keep the times with 6 programs. We're using 45 minutes for each program. Even if the show is less or 20 or 25 minutes, because to jump in and coming out for a lot of people needs more time, and you should keep a little bit focus on the air ventilation, of course. It's very important if you make a whole day program that you should focus on the small children and the middle-aged people, like children in the elementary school, and the elder programs also. And we always make one show in the beginning for the small children, then another show for the elder, then another show for the small nursery age, and so on. So we are switching the ages in each another. Unfortunately, we would like to go there with extremely nice programs, but the focus is on the children programs and the family programs. So more children program is needed for these equations. Of course, we try to manage these programs, and we were quite successful on that. I can say that the key element is that children's show is very important. Then about the topics, more and more people are interested on the planets, solar system, or the spacecrafts. These are the main topics what we can show them, and they are waiting for. Additionally, in the later time, in the afternoon, we can show nice programs about telescopes, European astronomy, and also this. And of course, sometimes I put some music shows and fun shows. It's very important. I fully recommend you the Cosmic Show from the Brno Planetarium. It's a funny show, and it's suitable for every ages, and it has even a content, and it is really fun. So we should focus on different kind of shows if you are showing programs for the open public. Fairy tales is very important, and planets are very important in this case. Different ages needs different program. So even if the view is very nice, we should focus on to different ages, those kind of programs that they can understand. And it's very important that we should use language style for different ages. For small children, nursery ages, we should put on songs and less speech. And for the elder people or the adults, we can put on scientific programs, but only for them, I think. This is my view. And of course, one thing is important. If the people are coming out from our shows, they should be satisfied, and they should speak about the experiences. If it is not successful, that we should change the programs. The main critical point is the people management, how to manage so many people, and we should be in time, show the exactly selected program, what we were in the agenda. And that was all what I would like to summarize it really short, just for an experience. I'm really open for other experiences, hints and tips, and I'm open for help to everybody, because I think the most important thing, and we could develop our self-planetarium with collaborations. So please, everybody, collaborate to each other. We are far away from each other. We are not competing to each other. We can collaborate. Thank you for your attention.
Very good points. We had some questions about noise when you have so many people in an auditorium like that, and you have many domes, and how did you manage the noise problem?
Yes, it's a critical program. One thing is that we need especially good audio systems. we're using a 5.1 sound system. It's not because we are making surround sound, but the sound can come from different parts, and we are positioning the sounds from the bottom of the dome, so not in higher part. That's especially good for us. We are using 5 or 6 speakers in one time. About the noise, yes, it's critical. We should point out those points in one place where we can separate a little bit. But of course, the only one thing is that if we're using two domes, we should start at the same time, because they are focusing it on one thing. If there is an outer noise, like in a big expo, we cannot do anything. We are fighting against the outer noise. We can only higher than the voices and the speakers. That's the only one thing that's critical, but there are no solution for that.
Mhm. The other thing that I've had trouble with is security. People want to push on the dome or jump on the dome, and I've always had to have a monitor outside to make sure that people stayed a distance from the dome itself. Is that what you do, or you just depend on the people being kind?
Be kind. Speak with the people and enthusiastic. So we are people, same people like them. We sometimes explain that unfortunately we cannot hire the voices. This is the situation. Please enjoy the images. That's the only one thing. From the organized point, we are always asking to not put us in the middle of the screen or near to the theater part. Please put us in the angle of somewhere in the back, because the big dome is visible, so it's not problem, they can find it. But we have lower noise if we are secure from 1 or 2 sides in the back.
Very good.
Slightly they are understanding, but it's a big fight.
Yeah.
Shorter shows and the view compensating best.
Great. Can you post the name of that funny show that you recommended in the chat?
Yeah, it's Cosmics. It's on the as a web page. The Brunel Planetarium shares it freely, of course.
Yeah, put it in the chat. Thank you. Alan Gould questioned whether we could, or suggest that maybe we could use folding stools in a situation like that. Something quick that you could fold up instead of the bigger chairs, but that's just a comment. And I liked your comment about the small children and songs. Later, I'm going to be talking about the conference in Germany, where I'm going to try and do a panel discussion of how to work with very small children. And so that's a good comment, and I'll be asking for some more emailed to me. Thanks so much. All right. Rodrigo has I think, Marco, you have a film, Rodrigo? Okay.
Yes, it's ready. Go ahead, Mr.
Guten
Rodrigo.
Morgen a alle, wie geht's euch? Muy buenos días, solo sé hablar alemán. ¿Puedes traducir, Marcos, por favor?
Yeah, he can speak Spanish and the German, but I can help with the English.
Pero inglés no puedo mucho. Voy a presentar un video y luego voy a presentar nuestro proyecto acá en Chile.
So he's going to present a video about his planetarium, his family project, and after that he will talk about the project, the winner project, right? So do we start with the video, Rodrigo? Okay, here we go.
¿Pueden ver el video? Hola, ¿qué tal? Me veo un poco raro, ¿cierto?
Bueno, la idea del planetario nació en nuestro corazón porque nos dimos cuenta que en esta región de Chile Si bien los cielos son preciosos, la mayor parte del tiempo están nublados y los niños nunca han experimentado lo que es vivir las ciencias de esta forma, vivir la astronomía, de entrar a un planetario. Es más, ni siquiera la palabra planetario la conocen. Y cuando vemos sus caritas y su emoción cuando ven al astronauta, realmente nos sentimos complacidos. Pero ha sido muy difícil que nuestro proyecto, nuestro emprendimiento pueda ser aceptado, puesto que como no lo conocen o no quieren no se dan la oportunidad de conocerlo, simplemente nos cierran las puertas. Muchas veces hemos hecho eventos y invitaciones de forma gratuita para poder dar a conocer, porque tenemos la certeza que si acercamos un niño a la ciencia, podemos cambiarle su perspectiva del mundo. En estos lugares donde los niños generalmente desertan escolarmente solamente para dedicarse a las labores del campo, darles la oportunidad de que ellos puedan conocer este tipo de proyectos y de emprendimiento, realmente no saben cuánto les favorece. Hay niños que he escuchado yo que dentro de sus proyectos ya tienen ir a estudiar astronomía a Santiago. Entonces realmente eso hace muy feliz cuando uno logra cambiar la forma de pensar de un niño y que se dé cuenta que hay mucho más mundo y mucho más universo que conocer y experimentar.
Quiero mostrarles mis sistemas de proyección. El primero que tuvimos fue este con un espejo domo. Este espejo tenía un defecto acá, entonces la imagen se veía apoyada justo en esta parte. El siguiente proyector que hice fue este con un espejo convexo. Me ha funcionado bastante bien y este es el que ocupa actualmente. La imagen se ve nítida, pero no me logra ocupar toda el área de la cúpula. Este es el proyecto en que estoy. Le adapté un proyector y este sistema de ojo de pez, que lamentablemente tampoco me da toda la capacidad de la cúpula. Estoy trabajando en él, tratando de colocar otro lente que mejore la proyección. Como pueden ver, todo muy artesanal, porque en nuestros países no está el mercado, no tenemos acceso a este mercado de elementos para planetarios. Los precios son carísimos y uno desea poder llevar un buen show a las personas, pero no tiene los recursos porque son muy caros. Y con un poco de inventiva y tomando muchas ideas de otros colegas planetaristas alrededor del mundo puede mejorar su servicio. Hay mucha inversión acá. Este espejo me costó $65. Estábamos recién empezando y cada inversión era fuerte, diciendo que tampoco ingresaba mucho dinero por las presentaciones, que han sido muy pocas. Este otro espejo me costó $35. Este proyector, mi mamá y su esposo me lo regalaron. Casi $800 costó, pero yo no hubiera podido comprar este. Y este otro lente que estoy tratando de mejorar la proyección, alrededor de $170. Entonces, cuando se invierte, pero no ingresa dinero, se hace muy complicado.
Otra dificultad que tenemos los planetarios móviles es el acceso a shows de planetarios. Afortunadamente hay shows gratuitos, pero nosotros también quisiéramos tener acceso a otros shows tan impresionantes y bonitos que hay en el mercado. Algunas licencias de shows van desde los $1.500 y para nosotros los planetarios móviles son precios inalcanzables. Nosotros no tenemos presentaciones diarias como los planetarios más grandes que dependen de universidades o cuentan con otro tipo de ayudas. Nuestras presentaciones pueden ser algunas pocas al mes, por lo que nuestro presupuesto sencillamente no alcanza para pagar esas licencias. Entendemos que las compañías productoras de shows necesitan que su negocio sea rentable, pero sería genial que los planetarios móviles tuviéramos acceso a precios más accesibles, considerando que nuestro modelo de negocio es distinto.
Bueno, hola, ese es el video desde acá, desde Chile. Marcos me va a traducir.
Okay, so that was my video from Chile.
Como pueden ver, lo que es alguien con talento puede hacer con poco presupuesto.
As you can see, what one with talent can do with very little budget.
Ya. Como mi esposa contaba, nuestro deseo es llevar las ciencias donde nadie ha llegado.
As my wife was telling you, our wish is to take science where nobody has gone before.
Y a pesar de que Chile es famoso por la astronomía,
And I know Chile is very famous for astronomy, but
pero en el sur de Chile hay un desconocimiento absoluto de las ciencias y la astronomía.
there's a lot of Chile that is unaware of, doesn't know much about science and astronomy.
Bien, yo ahora quiero comentarles de nuestro proyecto.
Now, I want to tell you about our project.
¿Puedo compartir pantalla?
Sí, señor.
Ya. Bien. Aquí vivimos nosotros en Purranque.
Here's where we live, in Purranque.
Estábamos muy lejos del resto del mundo.
We're very far away from the rest of the world.
Cuando veo los planetarios en la página de la IPS,
When I see the planetariums at the IPS web page,
es impresionante cómo hay tantos planetarios
it's impressive how many planetariums exist
en Norteamérica, en Europa y en India.
in North America, Europe, and India,
Pero acá en el sur, nada.
but nothing here at the south.
Somos el único planetario en nuestra región,
We are the only planetarium in our region,
pero hay otros planetarios muy pocos y casi no tienen presentaciones.
but there are very few other planetariums as they seldom present.
Nosotros queremos visitar la comunidad de Crucero, el pueblo de Crucero.
We want to visit Crucero town.
Es un lugar donde hay muchos niños y muy pobres,
It's a place that has many poor kids
y que nunca han visitado ni saben de un planetario.
and who have never visited or know about the planetarium.
Nosotros también queríamos visitar esta ciudad de Fresia,
We also wanted to go to Fresia,
pero consideramos que pero nosotros deseamos mejor cambiar la ciudad
but we prefer to change that destination, that city,
y visitar este pueblo de Carelmapu.
and go to Carelmapu, or Carelmapu, yes.
Tierra Verde significa en el idioma mapudungún,
Okay,
o el
it
idioma
means
originario.
green land,
Claro.
locally.
Si bien sale un poco del presupuesto original,
It could it could exceed the original budget,
nosotros vamos a cubrir el resto
but we're going to cover the rest,
y vamos a visitar ese lugar.
and we're going to visit that place.
Va a ser revolucionario,
It's going to be a revolutionary,
porque jamás un planetario ha llegado allí.
because never a planetarium has gone there.
Bien. ¿Y en qué consiste nuestro proyecto?
So what's our project about?
Una de las gran atracciones es el astronauta.
The astronaut is one of the main attractions.
Ese traje mi esposa lo hizo.
My wife did that. That's astronauts.
A base de un traje de nieve.
Based on snow, yeah, the snow thing.
Snowsuit, sí.
Snowsuit.
Con algunos
With
elementos
some elements.
que parecen de... son elementos de reciclaje.
Yeah, the recycled elements.
Nosotros llevamos también un sistema solar a escala
We also carry an scaled solar system
para que los visitantes se impresionen a ver el tamaño del Sol.
so the visitors are impressed by the size of the sun.
También llevamos un microscopio USB, creo que
We
se
also,
llama así,
yeah, we also carry an USB microscope
para que también puedan observar el microcosmos,
so they can see the microcosmos,
y un telescopio
and the telescope
por si hay luna llena y podemos observar también la luna.
just in case there's a full moon and we can watch the moon.
Cuando visitamos algunos lugares,
When we visit some places,
también llevo mis maquetas de naves espaciales
I also carry my spaceships
de material reciclado también.
made out of recycled material too.
Y hacemos talleres también
And we also do some workshops
de conceptos básicos de astronomía,
of basic concepts on astronomy.
adecuado para los visitantes, para las distintas edades de los visitantes.
Yeah, but adequate for the different ages of the visitors.
Exactamente. Y sí. Bueno, el traje es bastante caluroso.
It's very hot inside the suit.
Sí, pero vale la pena porque
Yeah, but it's worth it because
eso causa un gran impacto de los chicos, de los niños.
causes a great impact on kids.
Y junto con el casco y las botas,
Together with the helmet and the boots,
alcanzo una altura de 1,90 m.
I can reach a 1.90 meters high.
Y acá en el sur de Chile, la gente es bastante bajita.
And here at the south of Chile, people are very small. So
1,50 m, 1,60 m aproximadamente. Bueno, felices de ser parte de esta familia.
we're so happy to be part of this family.
Y de pertenecer, ahí está mi esposa.
It's
Ella
my
es la mente creativa.
She's the creative mind.
Ella fue la idea del planetario.
It was her idea, building the planetarium.
Y como a mí me gusta muy poco los planetarios,
And since I don't like the planetariums,
le dije, vamos.
I just told her, let's go, let's do it.
Sí. Y bueno, si alguien sabe de lentes ojo de pez, doy el dato.
If somebody knows about fisheye lenses, please give me a
Que me
hint.
ayude porque invertí $170.
I need some help because I invested already $170
Y no me funcionó.
and it hasn't worked. I'm going to
Y
add
no,
that his wife is going to send him to sleep with the dog after that.
Exacto. Y no quiero ir a dormir con el perro.
I don't want to do that.
Chao,
Thank
gracias.
you, Mr. Rodrigo.
That's so wonderful. The passion and creative energy of you people, all of you. It's just, oh, it just touches my heart. Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. I'm sure there are many people who can help you about the fisheye lens. And I applaud your tenacity and your pushing forward with this. And your wife should be a bigger picture in your screen there so I can see her. It seems that many portable domes are a family enterprise. Marco is also involved with his entire family, and it's wonderful to get that support from your family, and that's what makes you able to do this work, this important work. Thank you so much. And we have the next, let's see, Marco. Tell us about your winning project.
Yes, indeed. Okay, let me show
He's
you this.
another person who has the only portable dome in the whole country.
In fact, the whole of Central America, I found out.
Oh.
So I'm so glad that Mr. Philip Sadler is here, because it's him to blame for me being 30 years and now having a portable startup planetariums. We started with analog, the cylinder, 30 years ago, and it was like 6 years ago that we moved to the digital dome. And but we brought the same best practices from the analog planetarium into the digital. We didn't realize that we did that, but it was practical, and it has given us good results. So about this dome, basically what we have here, we have a central module that we built ourselves because we wanted the projector, the expensive projector, to be very well protected from every jumping kid around in the dome. So we built a very sturdy central module where we put the projector, and it already has the lights and the speakers. It's also a 5.1 Dolby Digital speaker system. Just like our colleague, it's just to project more sound into the dome, so it sounds more like a movie theater. So we have everything like ready. When we're going to set this up, we put just the floor, and we put this module in the center, and it's almost ready to play. We just bring the electricity, the subwoofer. Here's one of my daughters just connecting the subwoofer, and we place the projector, and that's it. The other things are just the seats, and then we just start inflating the dome on top of this, and we're like ready to go. If for 2 people, we can set this up in 20 minutes. And just for one, maybe my wife alone or me alone, we can spend like 45 minutes setting this up. And we can set it up like anywhere. This was recently, look at that. And inside the dome, the module looks like this. This is before we start a show. It has lights. Here, the projector is not on yet, but people are ready to start a show. But when the module is projecting, well, we have here a photo with the projector on, but also the lights. That was for the photo. This other one was, again, for the photo because the lights are on, but when you're actually in a show, it looks like this. And that lens allows us to have the horizon just on top of people's heads when they are sitting. But they usually like just lay down on the floor. This is an actual photograph of how the horizon of the projection looks like. It's concentric. And we have very good audio. It sounds really like a movie theater. So our project has always been with the digital system to be almost like a fixed planetarium, just too small, but it's just like the same feeling, the same thing. We get everybody there, inclusion. We sometimes we just bring in some small chair or a stool for people who cannot just sit on the floor, and we can take in wheelchairs any size or whatever. So we've been very good at that. We have an offer of programs. This is the offer from 2 years ago, and we make our own promotional materials. And Facebook has been our main promotional way of just selling, and just schools mostly are the people who hire us. And the other thing I wanted to show you here, I can change my camera to this other one here. This is our original Starlab projector, one of Mr. Philip Sadler's first models. It worked for us for 25 years, but we actually pre-recorded some of the voices and everything because we had to do like 14 shows a day. So even with this, we had to make some automatization of the lights and sound because we couldn't do it otherwise. But this worked for us for so long. So thank you, Mr. Sadler, for your invention. And now we have this other projector. Just give me a minute to change the camera again. And here is now the digital model with the wonderful fisheye lens projector. And this has allowed us just to do like everything, not only astronomy. So it's also a good thing to have. We really love the digital option because we produce videos. My family, my daughters, my wife, they're all narrators. And so they're always behind the voices for every program in the planetarium. And our project for the centennial, of course, just like Rodrigo's, we have a lot of communities that are very poor that don't even know where a planetarium is. So we have a list, in fact, so we can choose where to go and where to invest all the budget. And just like him, we're going to do as much as we can this year for those communities. So thank you for the IPS for the chance that they have given us. Well, thank you. That's it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Another person who perseveres, even through COVID. We are all persevering. This is wonderful. Bryant, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Can you tell us about your project and your wonderful travels?
Oh yeah, thank you. Well, I'm going to share it right now, my presentation. Maybe a lot of you already know me. I am Brian Gonzalez from Venezuela, but I lead this project called Astronomical Backpacker, or Mochileros Astronómicos in Spanish. A long time ago, I decided to travel to teaching astronomy in South America. I am an amateur astronomer, and I started my passion for planetariums in my country, in Venezuela, in Caracas, in this planetarium. I used to work with this size projector, and I used to do speech, live speech of astronomy with people using this planetarium. We have not digital planetarium there in Venezuela, but when in Venezuela things weren't difficult, so I decided to go as a backpacker with my telescope and travel in South America. But in this travel, I not only knew some places of touristic places, but I had the chance to have wonderful skies during my trip. But in every place I visited, I teach astronomy. I taught astronomy to children, to communities, far away from big cities, far away from planetariums, from other planetariums. But I also use this experience to visit new planetariums and share what I have developed in Venezuela, what I had learned from other planetariums, and enjoy, of course, the clear skies, for example, in these countries, and share everything into the planetarium. So my travel was a learning and teaching process, and this is all that I have traveled during the last 5 years. Now I am in Paraguay, and I started to with a project called Planetarium Experience. I mean, I take all that I have learned from planetariums that I have visited, more or less 50 planetariums, and then I created a show. I created a show for planetariums, and I received the support of different people from South America. And well, this is what I have been saying. All planetariums I have visited, and and the things I learned, I wrote this book called The Planetarian or El Planetarista, which is a full experiences written in this book and share with all planetarium people. If you want this book, just let me know and I'll see how I share this in the webpage. That's why I asked it in the first part of the presentation. Well, now I am in Paraguay, and this is the only planetarium in this country. This planetarium is very old, and it uses a very old technology. It's a NextStar, analogic NextStar. But when I visited this planetarium the first time, I noted that people in this country here in Paraguay, but specifically in this town, they talk about cultural Guarani astronomy. So they use the cultural astronomy led by their ancestors, and they had their own constellations. And in this planetarium, they talk about this, and it was a very beautiful experience. And then when I knew that it was the only planetarium, but only does this kind of astronomy, I wanted to add more experience for them. So I received this mobile planetarium as a donation of a person from Argentina who noted my experiences with planetarium and said, "Hey, you were a street artist. Now you have your own theater." He said that, and he gave me this planetarium to work here in Paraguay because I have decided to stay here. So I created this show called Planetarium Experiences, which is a live show, and it has not only immersive technology, well, the mirror, I have a mirror and a projector, but also I have a laser show incorporated into this show, but all is live. So I speak with people, I talk with people, I explain everything about astronomy, but I travel. I used to travel to other places and cooperate with other planetariums because my show, the show that I have developed, can be used in other planetariums because it's live show. So I use this software and I share only with the projectors of people that are with me. And I talk about astronomy, cooperating with this. This allow me to travel also again to Bolivia to share the planetarium experience. And recently, Argentina, a planetarium in Buenos Aires, they took my project, they took my show, and they say, well, let's share your show into our mobile planetarium. So it keeps me traveling. I decided to stay in Paraguay and I can't. Everyone wants I travel. So they took my show and they say, well, let's share your show in these countries. Now I'm traveling in Argentina, in Uruguay, and of course, they don't let me travel here in Paraguay, where is the real country I want to visit. So the target of this is to travel in Paraguay with this own show and presented the results in the South American Association Planetarium next December. And of course, we are working with the Centennial, because the trailer of the Centennial, I decided to work with people here in Paraguay to translate it to Guarani language. So this way we can get to these communities, because here in Paraguay there are two official languages. So when you go to the supermarket or when you go to the store, you listen people talking Guarani. I don't speak Guarani language, but when I go to my planetarium, when I do my shows, I introduce the trailer in Guarani subtitle, and people can understand. So this is part of the show. Pictures, capture some screens of my show. It's a live show. People see not only the dark sky, but they also have this is videos I want to show you. I have done presentations in shopping mall, in schools, and we have been working with communities only here in Asunción, the capital of Paraguay, but what we want, and I say we because I have trained some students to work with me, travel with me, and support this project. We want to travel for this country, the communities, the different communities in this place. And what are softwares I use? This is my computer, and I am using Stellarium, Celestia, and Open Space project. Those are very useful softwares to work with this. And I have done a small programming work with Stellarium because originally Stellarium has these constellations in black and white and gray. But I decided to change this, and I use the colored constellations to create a better impact into people. And here is the mirror and projector I use, and this is part of the effects and shows we show with people. And this is the map of Paraguay. We are located here, which is capital, and we have only moved in this circle. We can, and this is the principal planetarium, the smallest planetarium of the country. Is in this place. So the real, and we have visited this city here with the planetarium too. Well, we have people who once we go to other places in this country, but it's difficult to move without support. For example, when I travel to Argentina, or I travel to Bolivia or Uruguay, there are planetariums there. So I have only to take my laptop. And I use my software and I use everything with my computer because they have the planetariums. But here in Paraguay, it's very difficult to move with this planetarium. I don't have car or elements to move, so I only work in this place. And well, we want to go to whole country if it's possible. Well, and this is my presentation. I hope you have enjoyed, and if you have any questions, let me know. And sorry about my English if you didn't understand some words, some part of it. Thank you.
Fantastic. Again, I'm just blown away by the work that all of you people are doing and reaching places that normally would not have any of these experiences. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for your presentation. Phil Sadler, are you still here? Phil? Maybe he's not here anymore. I wanted to see if he was inspired by maybe getting back into the game and helping all of the people who are having trouble with inventing and creating their own planetariums, because that's what he did. He started out with high school students and built his planetarium model, and then worked from there. I hope that he will write up. He has written up in my handbook online on the resources page. There is an article that he wrote about how he designed and built his own projector and planetarium. And I'm hoping that he'll contribute more about how he ended up building the fisheye projection system, the steps that he took. Wonderful. Thank you so much, and good luck on your continued work in these things. I was wondering, a couple of things occurred to me, because when I got registrations for people to come to this meeting, I went then to search for your websites, and I noticed a couple of things, because I was trying to find out what cities people were from, what areas they served. Did they describe what a planetarium actually is on their website? Did they have anything about the centennial? And all of those things were not there. So I suggest that all of you take a look at your web pages or your websites and see if people know even where you live or where you are, or where you're operating and what area, because if someone is looking for somebody to present in their region, they don't know where you're from. You could be from Spain and they're in Brazil or something like that. So make sure your address or some location indicator is there. And talk about what a planetarium is and why we're celebrating the invention of this magical instrument. Because it's important that people understand what a planetarium is, and it doesn't have to be just teaching astronomy. So those are just a couple of suggestions I have. It always amazed me when I would go to a city and the tourist information center didn't know where the planetarium was. They have no indication of it in their literature. So don't make it hard for people to find you. Okay, I had a couple of things. We've got about 25 minutes. I want to make sure that you understand a couple of things. There's July 17 to 21 in 2024, there will be an International Planetarium Society meeting in Berlin. I'm hoping that some of you can come, of course, with limited budgets. I understand that there's a problem. However, yeah, there are scholarships usually, and the German-speaking Planetarium Association is offering 2 opportunities for people to go to Germany and work for 1 week, making presentations. And they're making it available around the same time as the conference so that you can be in the country and go to the conference. They pay $1,000 for your airfare. Unfortunately, it's after you travel, you submit your bill. And room and board for that week, and transportation around to the locations they want you to work in. So if you look on the IPS website, Marco, can you do this for me? Go to the week with a GDP. Marco just got back from that experience, and he ended up spending a month there, just going from friend to friend and planetarium to planetarium, just visiting around the country. So you would submit an application for these 2 positions, one of these 2 positions, by December 31st. So you have plenty of time now to think of a way to get your application in and make your application really strong. Portables are getting more attention and winning more positions. So I encourage you to do it. Find the web page. Anyway, new information will be.
What I'm searching for is the information about the GDP contest.
Yeah.
On the
IPS, get involved. Global projects.
Okay, I think I found it. Let me see. This is the one.
Yeah.
Like this one?
Okay. So now this is going to be updated. As I said, the webmaster's on vacation, so I sent her all the information for 2023-24. And but this part of it, a week with the GDP, is very updated, and you can read about how to apply, where to send your application, and so on. So make sure you look at that. Great, thanks. And then also look for, at the conference, look for a scholarship application, because there should be some scholarships for attending. Okay, let's see what else. We need to think about how to communicate with each other, because and where do we post these interesting things that we've talked about today. The IPS has a YouTube video channel, and so this meeting will be posted there eventually. I don't know what the web address is for that, but usually if you just look up IPS YouTube videos, or IPS YouTube, you'll find it. I've had a couple of suggestions about how to communicate, to develop a group of people. One was to put a mobile dome group on Facebook. And the other one that Lionel mentioned, can you tell us more about that, Lionel? Small Planetarium's mailing list.
Yes, I'm in charge of a small planetarium mailing list on groups.io. So maybe it could be a good way to make it more lively, to use this group dedicated to small planetarium to talk with mobile domes, because most of them are mobile or have the same difficulties as small fixed domes. So I will put on the chat the way to subscribe to this mailing list, and maybe it could be a way to continue to talk and to discuss about difficulties that people may have with their mobile domes or how to build those. Most of the people there have spherical mirror systems or fisheye, small fisheye systems, mostly built by themselves or with, well, small budgets, probably.
Mm-hmm. The problem I had, and I think I joined that quite a long time ago, the problem I had was accessing it, because it seemed like the address that I used didn't work.
Before we were on Yahoo Groups, but it has been closed. All of Yahoo Groups mailing list have been closed, so it has moved to groups.io. But I don't think, well, it works.
Okay.
It shall work.
All right, so you're going to post that? All right, so I like that idea better. If the link works and people want to try and we can try that. I hesitate to do Mobile Dome's Facebook page because it's out to the public. A lot of people are not on Facebook. We don't necessarily have to put everything out there for everybody. You know, so it's nicer to have a closed group that people can join. So shall we try that?
Yeah, or we can build our own mobile domes mailing list. Or whatever.
Any comments on that, people? Michael?
Yeah, I believe small planetariums and mobile planetariums are so close to each other, and we really face the same problems and same difficulties and same advantages compared to the big planetariums. So it would be beneficial if those two communities work strongly together.
Okay. Nod your head, people, if you think that's a good idea. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of affirmatives. All right, well, let's try that then. Make sure everybody joins that group, and then we'll start a conversation there. That's great. Thank you. Any other things, concerns, comments? Phil, you're there. Can you talk to me for a minute?
Sure.
Okay, Phil. I have your article on how you invented the planetarium in the beginning. I'm missing the history of how you went to fiber arc and you went to the fisheye. So I'm wondering if you have any documentation of that, or if you would create some kind of commentary on that to advise us on how you did that.
Yeah, I'm missing that too. I wrote that original article for one of your itinerant planetarium conferences. So I haven't written up anything since then.
Yeah, okay. It's in my handbook. So everybody can find it there. Do you mind if I post it separately as?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
You can do that.
Okay. And can you write the history beyond?
The history beyond, it's possible. I can put down the list.
I know you're very busy, but I
Would
beg of
anybody
you.
be interested in, I mean, if people have read the, was the original article useful for anybody here? Has anybody seen it? Probably not. If you've seen it, if you've read it, you can just give me a thumbs up visually. So just a few people.
Yeah, but it's because they didn't know about it. You know, my handbook is so outdated. That's why I want to put it on the webpage. People are very curious right now about the development of the planetarium projector and the centennial. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to get that timeline out there of how you work through the different iterations of the planetarium. So
yeah, the first one was almost 50 years ago. The
yeah,
projector and the dome.
Yeah. And I think people would be very interested to know that process, especially when they're trying to build their own now. You know, so that's
well, there's a
important.
fair amount in there. There are also two patents which have since run their course. Patents are, they're publicly available, and they're no longer, they're no longer enforced. So if people want to see the details about building a projector or dome, they're in the patents themselves. And I can post the patent numbers here. People can just look them up if they'd like.
That's perfect. Perfect. People in South America, people in Africa, people in Asia, they're all looking to me to help them bridge that gap of financially buying a projector. I'm not trying to undermine the people that are selling projectors, but it's just impossible to pay thousands of dollars.
Sure.
So you've heard that already several times at this
meeting. I'm no longer, I mean, my wife and I sold the company back in 2008, I think. So I no longer make any money from projectors or domes or anything.
Right. So you can help us out.
I can.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I'll dig out those patent numbers.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. I have decided to do 2 panels or 2 papers or some kind of presentation at the conference in 2024. The topics are history and the development of mobile domes. So that's helpful to have Phil's information. And working with very young children is another one, because I get a lot of people questioning how to work with children, even babies to 6-year-olds. You can have them in the planetarium, but there are very special ways that you have to, as Michael talked to us about young people and how he handles them. So if you would like to join me on either one of those, even if you're not going to the conference, I can include information that you give me and I can give you credit for that. But certainly if you're going to the conference, you can be on the panel discussion with me or a workshop or however we want to make this presentation. So history and development of mobile domes and working with very young children, 2 different topics. You can email me if you're interested in either of those. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about today? We have 10 minutes.
I think Mr. Loris has his hand raised.
Okay.
Okay, you listen me?
Yes.
Okay, ciao, Susan.
Ciao.
Hello, everyone. I just follow, I just listen until now. Very interesting. My compliment also for the organization. Many people that attended the meeting, therefore wonderful, really wonderful. Also to see the large kitchen of Susan. Just a funny question for the final meeting. I would like to ask to Philip Sadler about the old model, Starlab model. If there is a place where this model, old model, and the collection of cylinder is available, that means like a museum collection, some place where it's possible to imagine like a room of a museum. There are many times, for example, in our National Technical Museum, we have many instruments of the past, and could be curious to have a place where it's possible to find all these old instrument. Obviously, the same question concern other type of old model, but obviously that mean a big work, a big space, and so on. And in this case, just meet on this meeting the Philip. This is my question that just appeared in my mind, and I try to put all the collection of different cylinder. That is one of the particular things of now it seem a happy question to imagine all these different cylinder, obviously using video, but in the past is a wonderful way to go out from the normal astronomical projection. As Susan know, and also the participant of the whole IPS meeting, it was wonderful in the past to increase the program for school with cylinder that concern biology, geology, and so on. And I see, for example, before that there is a colleague that among the instrument put also use also a microscope. And in our case, obviously, the cylinder about biology become a workshop. Therefore, not only the introductory projection about cell, but the lesson is followed by practical activity, observation of obviously of different tissue of the human body and so on, just in relation with the content of the cylinder. And the same with the cylinder about geology, because we have a collection of rock, mineral, and so on. Therefore, obviously, we need a colleague that is prepared about this subject. In fact, obviously our lesson about biology is with a teacher that know this topic, and the same with geology. But in any case, the first question, hello, Philip. Now I see you just behind my screen, is to imagine a collection. Also because we celebrate the centennial, but it's very interesting to imagine a place where it's possible to restore old model. In this case, I think about obviously the Starlab, because it's a very particular collection, very particular. I think it could be imagined also a way before the video to increase the program. Yes, in fact, also transparent cylinder is another wonderful idea that I use so often, using film to invent a new cylinder. And therefore, just a question, just a curiosity, but also interesting talk. Also because it could be interesting to do that in the United States, but also in Europe, obviously.
Well, when I can sort of answer, I mean, when I owned the company, I owned it for 40 years, we had all the old equipment on hand, and but when we sold it, it all went to Science First, and I'm not sure if they maintain that. Also, we always had a program during the summer of refurbishment of the planetarium. So anybody could send their planetarium back, the projector, the dome, and for modest cost, we would bring it all up to date, clean it, repair it. I don't know if that option still exists. I mean, being at the university now, at Harvard, I mean, I have a lot of other responsibilities. I can't really, I mean, other than coming on to this wonderful conference and seeing where people have gone, where I just lit a fuse by developing the planetarium, and people have done so much more with it than I could have ever imagined. So the kudos are all to you rather than me for creating this thing originally. So I don't have much documentation. I think that the one thing I could work on, as Sue suggests, is chapter 2 to the history of the Star Lab, which could, you know, if I could dig out all those resources of which cylinders we developed and what they look like and all that, that might be useful to some people.
I think the handbook with all the cylinder descriptions are available now free online. So that is helpful. There is a planetarium museum in the United States. I can't remember who runs it now. Owen Paris, I think. I don't know if he has portable planetariums there. That's a good question. I'll have to ask him that. And the biggest problem with the old system and the original analog system, I still have one, and it's going in my garage to be a little planetarium for my community, and the neighborhood kids are going to use it. But the lamps are impossible to obtain. So I have a very short amount of time to use this because they're over $300 each now.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't have a source for enough lamps to keep it going. So I will eventually have to use the French instructions on my website to build the fisheye projector, I guess. Have the kids help me do that because those lamps are impossible to get. And if you know of a source, you know,
I'll take a look at that. I mean, one thing that I've thought of is I've been following for many years is the development of a good LED replacement for those lamps that's equivalent in or better in the point source capability. And every maybe 2 years, I look at the market and see what people have developed. So maybe I should look at that. That might be useful. It might be useful for anybody with analog projectors.
That would be wonderful because we're still using them. They're war horses. They work and they're wonderful. A guy in Buffalo has been trying to develop an LED, but he could not figure out how to he couldn't dim it. He couldn't figure out how to adjust the light. It's either on or off. And
yeah, there's that little tiny light bulb that I designed.
Yeah.
So yeah, the key to the design is that the filament in that bulb is only 0.7 millimeters long. So
yeah,
the stars are essentially images of the filament.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Well, I'm so glad.
I can one more word just to finish this topic.
Yes.
And the idea to display all the old cylinder and the projector could become a permanent or a temporary room exhibition in a museum if it's possible to invent a particular way to show the cylinder, not with the original lamp because it's difficult, but imagine to put inside, imagine to display 10 different cylinder, okay, the main cylinder in a dark room, okay, and obviously we need that inside there is a normal lamp, not so high luminosity, that can show the possibility to see something about the drawing, the content on the surface of the cylinder, because in this way can become very spectacular. Also because imagine that I have, for example, the sour cylinder, and of the background there is the image of a Magellanic cloud, for example, or I have the cylinder about biology, and on the background, on the wall, I have an image, a spectacular image about the cell, something about, or something that change, obviously better. I imagine that the image on the background can change. And if you imagine that there is a guided visit, that could be very interesting. Also not a necessary guided visit in the case that there is a sound or a audio guide that hello the people, the visitor, to know what happened, what they see now. And in this way could be an attractive, a site that can attract the attention of a visitor. But we need obviously a window that cover all the cylinder, because are very delicate, it's not possible to touch. Could be also have a button to push a light on the lamp of each cylinder, and this image that can change on the background is one of the many ideas that is possible to justify to find a museum interested to open a room of whole the planetarium, about whole the planetarium system. Just a way. Thank you.
Very interesting. Larry, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, I had just wondering, you know, it was the thing in Berlin, a lot of Europeans, portable planetarium operators can get to that, but a lot of the portable planetariums who are already struggling in a budget from other continents will have trouble getting to the IPS. Will IPS do this conference as a hybrid or part-time virtual conference so that other people from Asia and South America and so on can attend this conference? Have they made that decision? I know they were doing that for St. Petersburg when that got canceled.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, and Michael's not here to ask him. I'm assuming that they would have at least some of the sessions live, so that people could attend that way, but I will check into that. Thank you. Okay, wow. My insides are tingling from all of the wonderful things. Well, that was a great meeting, and we're unfortunately a little bit over, but I want to talk to you about the next meeting, when we should have it. Should we do this once a month? Should we do this every 3 months? What do you suggest? Is Saturday a good day? It seemed to be a very good day, because the first time we had it on a weekday and it was only about 12 people. So this is incredible. So I'm assuming Saturday would be the day. What do you think about the timing between meetings? Any comments on that? Otherwise, we'll just make a decision on our own. Pat.
Well, I was actually raising my hand on something else rather than that, but yeah, Saturdays are generally good. I'm sorry. I actually had another meeting. We're putting together a CubeSat, so we're all going about nuts and fruits right now. But the one thing I wanted to announce while everybody is here is that we have a brand new planetarium show called Totality. That's now available in English and in Spanish and in all common formats, fisheye, pre-warped, and flat screen, with English and Spanish audio and English and Spanish subtitles. So if you've got Media Show or one of those that can handle subtitles, then you can put the subtitles in, and you can of course translate the subtitle file into other languages. It's just a text file. So it is available. It's free with just a format fee, and I can put the link in the chat.
You're muted, Susan.
You heard me though, right?
Yes, Patricia, we heard
Yes,
you.
yes, we
Okay.
hear you.
And thank you for the program. Susan, you're still muted.
Marco, do you have any feeling about when you think the next meeting would happen? And would you be willing, if I fund you to have the Zoom capability, would you be willing to run it like you did this time?
Yeah, I think many of us are good for every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
So some new things happen, and then we can share them. But we should keep in touch anyway, to
Right.
the mailing
Okay.
list or website. Somebody suggested there just a WhatsApp group. That could be also very handy to have a WhatsApp group.
Ah, okay. So many new things to try. All right, then let's aim for 3 months. That would be by September, late August or September. Okay. All right. In the meantime, we need to make sure that you register for the Small Planetarium's mailing list, and we can keep track that way. And we'll talk about WhatsApp group on that list, and have some conversations about what topics we might cover. DACA gave me some list of topics to cover for the next meeting already. Thank you. And open source, we got some mentions of you in there. Sorry, we weren't able to have you demonstrate that for us, but perhaps at one of our future meetings you could demonstrate. Alex, thank you. But you got some good PR today. Well, any final comments? Anyone like to comment at all?
Marco, ¿me puede traducir, por favor?
Sí, don Rodrigo, Susan pregunta si algún comentario final de parte de alguno.
Sí,
Quiera
sí entendí.
dar últimas
Quiero
palabras.
comentar.
Okay, he wants to comment.
Me siento como en familia.
I feel like in a family.
Nunca pensé que había tanta gente que compartiera la misma pasión.
I never thought that there were so many people sharing the same passion.
Creo que soy uno de los que empezó de cero desde acá.
I think that I'm one of those who started from zero.
Y también mi experiencia la pongo a disposición.
And also my experience I offer it to you.
Ya, porque al igual que muchos de ustedes,
Because just the same as you,
empezó a tropezón, a prueba y error.
it started just a trial and error.
Y también también deseo poder compartir o ayudar a alguien.
And I also wish to be able to help somebody else.
Pero creo que ustedes me van a ayudar más que yo a ustedes.
But I think that you're going to help me more than.
Un abrazo.
Hugs.
And hugs right back at you. Thank you so much. And I have a list of most of the participants. So if you don't have the email of someone and you want to know something from them, you can go through me or through Marco and ask us to give you their email, and you can communicate with them directly. You can use us as a resource for any questions. We can point you in the directions of some answers, hopefully, or put it to the group. Thank you so
Susan,
much.
Can we have some seconds for Dario and Mr. Carlos?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You can open up here if you want to.
Okay, hello all. I'm Carlos Molina from Bogota. The next month we release a new show about astronomy of indigenous people in Colombia, and will be available for all the planetariums around the world. I like to leave in the chat the link of the trailer. It's a full-on trailer that you consult at some moments this trailer, and will be open for all. So thank you for this beautiful meeting. This background.
Wonderful. Is there a way I can copy the chat, Marco?
It's already saved all the time. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I would just like to say a couple more things. The Pacific Planetarium Association organizes an online meeting every last Friday of the month. So if some of you might want to keep in touch in a more regular basis. The other thing is also regarding the PPA, they have the program they call the PPA mini grants, where they support financially some small projects. I remember seeing one about homemade projection system in South Africa. And I was watching Rodrigo's presentation, and I was remembering that one from South Africa. He got $500, I think, from the PPA to help him build the projectors. I don't know if I think I saw something about the new mini grants available. Alam Gould was in the beginning of this session. I don't see him now here, but maybe searching the PPA website or searching for PPA mini grants might, I don't know, help somehow.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else? That's good.
Just to thank everyone for the inspiration. This was really great. Thank you very much. And yeah, thank you for sharing the difficulties, because I'm preparing my own project myself, and actually knowing that you guys also have to battle the same battles that I fight here. I'm in France, I'm in the south of France, and actually even small planetariums here are not that common, really. So especially, yeah, Rodrigo, Brian, and Marco, thank you very, very much. Those are the presentations that I saw, but I'm sure everyone that presented is an inspiration for everyone else. Thanks a lot.
Yes, I have the feeling no one wants to leave. That's wonderful. Marco and I said this could go on forever, the whole day. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you again the next time. Keep up the good work. Keep up your spirits. If you need a boost of spirit, just email us and we'll cheer you on. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye, thanks.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao. Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao.
Goodbye.
Bye,
Ciao from
everybody.
Italy. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Vanakkam.
Bye bye.
Altekel.
Salam
Bye
alaikum.
bye.
Salam alaikum.
Bis Wochenende.
Summer.
Gracias, Marcos.
Assalamu
Au revoir.
alaikum.
Gracias, Susan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Pura vida.
Deus, pessoal.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
I want to hear all the languages now.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Namaste.
Oh, thank you.
Ciao, Susan.
Ciao.
Wonderful job. Wonderful.
Thank-
Ciao,
Thank
Marco.
you,
The
Susan.
same.
Thank you, Marco.
Thank you.
Gracias.
See you soon.
Gracias a todos.
Wonderful job.
Thank you, Suse. Thank you,
Thank you very
Marco.
much.
Bye bye.
Yes. Thank you, Marco, for all the organization and the advertising. Ooh. Yes.
Okay.
Bye bye. Ciao.
Okay, I'm kicking everybody out.
Okay, bye-bye.